That's it. Hi guys, welcome back to the finale of House of the Dragon. Today I'll be watching episode 10 of season 1, The Black Queen. Now I know I'm like almost a week late for the finale, and I have avoided as much of spoilers as possible. So because in terms of social media, in terms of news, and everything that goes around circulating the news of the finale, the only thing that spoiled maybe for me was the fact that this episode is more about Rhaenyra, and the previous episode, the Green Council, was more Alicent's side of the story. So I think that's the only thing that sort of spoiled for me. But other than that, I mean, in terms of spoiling, you can't say it's spoiling because I have watched the lore, but as I said, I do not remember every nook and cranny of the lore, so like details, but I know the fact that, this is based off of what would happen, in Dance of the Dragons. I know that there is a war that comes up because of the events of this first season, so at least that bit, I think I was not spoiled, but it was sort of written, so I think I was just more or less aware of that. But in terms of episode details, I think that's the only thing that I was informed about, the fact that this is going to be Rhaenyra's side of things, and we won't see Alicent in this episode, if I recall correctly. But other than that, I'm super excited to see what the finale is all about. I mean, we do know that, Rhaenys, she came out in the dragon pit with her dragon Malus, and I was told that she could have ended the Dance of the Dragons war by, killing Aegon then and there, but then again, the entire storyline of Dance of the Dragons would not have happened if she ended the war. So I think that's the whole reason why we are seeing things as it is, at least as accurately as it is in the book. So but that entire segment in the end was really, really and very nice. So I would like to see what it feels like for Rhaenyra to know that Aegon is now crowned king. Not only the fact that, people have that swore to her and to Viserys saying that Rhaenyra would be the heir. It's the fact that Alicent did this without, Alicent basically misinterpreted everything that Viserys said, thinking it's her child, her Aegon, their Aegon that would be crowned king, and Song of Ice and Fire and everything that goes with it. But also the fact that, I think she was trying as much as possible from the previous episode to avoid everything for Rhaenyra to be killed. But at the same time, she's more like, this is what she's almost prepared herself for, the fact that Aegon would be king. And this is definitely going to be a big clash of the two houses, the Hightowers and Targaryens. But at the same time, we've got Targaryen blood going here and there. And now that we know Rhaenys is not supporting Aegon's claim to the throne, what exactly would what would leave her position exactly? Like, where would she side with Rhaenyra, even though whatever has happened before? I am not sure, but I feel like Rhaenys is a smart woman, so she would play to her strengths in that aspect and get something out of Rhaenyra by siding with her. But at the same time, I'm not sure what exactly the future scenes would be. But I'm more curious to see what Rhaenyra would feel like knowing that her best friend, Alicent, her once best friend, is, crowned her son as king, and knowing that the Hightowers are coming to kill all of the Targaryens because they know that they're not going to resist. They will resist the rule of Aegon Targaryen, but at the same time, we've got Daemon, whom we know is sort of like from the start the rogue prince. He's always about war and everything. So I don't think he would settle lightly in that aspect. I feel like he and Rhaenyra, because they've got fire and blood sort of, running through their veins, would they go to war? And If so, is this the starting point of Dance of the Dragons? All in all, I'm very excited to see what this episode really entails because it's called The Black Queen. So, well, let's go. Here we go, finale of House of the Dragon. I'm very excited. Driftmark. Oh, now he'll be the heir to Driftmark. That's so true. Oh my god.
There you are.
Remember him saying that if he's Lord of Driftmark, that means everyone he knows is dead. Oh, that's so sad.
Luke.
I can't be Lord of the Tides. Grandsire was the greatest sailor who ever lived. I get green sick before the ship even leaves the harbour. I'll just ruin everything. I don't want Driftmark. It should have passed on to Sir Vaymond.
We don't choose our destiny, Luke. It chooses us.
Grandsire let you choose whether you be his heir. You told us so.
Do you want to know the truth of it? I was frightened. I was 4 and 10, same as you are now. I wasn't ready to be Queen of the 7 Kingdoms. But it was my duty.
I'm not like you.
In what way, sweet boy?
I'm not so perfect.
Oh.
I am anything but. My father looked after me and helped to prepare me for my duties. Your mother will do the same for you.
Princess Rhaenys has just arrived on Dragonback. She urgently requests an audience with you and Prince Daemon.
Oh shit, to tell about Aegon. And I don't even know if she knows about Viserys. I'm pretty sure not. They're talking about the grandsire in present tense.
Might we hope for news of Lord Corlys's recovery?
Viserys is dead.
I grieve this loss with you, Rhaenyra. My cousin, your father, possessed a kind heart. Aegon has been crowned as his successor.
Oh shit.
They crowned him.
How did Viserys die?
I could not say.
Alicent demanded you declare for Aegon.
She did. I refused her.
And yet you are alive.
The High Septon crowned Aegon in the Dragon Pit. I witnessed it myself just before I fled on Meleys.
Before the masses.
So that the masses would see him as their rightful king.
That whore of a queen murdered my brother and stole his throne, and you could have burnt them all for it.
A war is like to be fought over this treachery, to be sure. But that war is not mine to begin. The Greens are coming for you, Rhaenyra. And for your children. You should leave Dragonstone at once.
Baby's coming.
Please tell me she's not having a freaking baby right now. This is so ironic from the first episode.
Far from complete. This should not be happening.
It is fucking happening.
Keep your head about you, princess. Come. We've done this 5 times before. Keep your spirit in the 6th will be no different.
Get off! Get off! Get off! Ow! Ow! Ow!
The Greens attack now, it will be by stealth, not directly. We don't have enough men to surround the island, but we can make ourselves appear stronger than they are. Conscript the Dragon Keepers, they're capable fighters.
What was that?
Oh, jeez.
You might go easier on him, Magnus.
Oh, fuck. Oh.
Princess!
Your grandsire, King Viserys, has passed.
Viserys?
The Greens have repudiated the succession and claimed the Iron Throne. Aegon has been crowned king.
And where is Daemon?
I don't know. Gone to madness.
Gone to madness.
Gone to plot his war.
Yeah. That's
Leave
what
Daemon
he's
with
doing.
me.
Viserys! Whatever claim remains to me, you are now its heir. Naught is to be done but by my command.
She's considering herself as the queen, or is she the fact that she's in such desperate need to give birth that she's just signing her will now?
Snake's fever is broken and he has left even form.
Where is he sailing?
Wait,
That
what?
much is unclear, my prince.
We'll send ravens to our nearest allies, Lords
Darkling, Massey, Barremon.
Do you want to speak to the Maester, my prince?
My mother has decreed no action be taken while she's in bed.
It's good you're here, young prince. You're needed to patrol the skies on Virmax.
Did you hear what I said?
The ravens, Lord Artemis.
I shall see it done.
Summon Sir Stephen. Our King's Guard are needed on the Dragonland. Come with me. I'll show you the true meaning of loyalty.
I swore first to King Viserys, my prince, and then to his grace, King Viserys, when he succeeded him.
Do you acknowledge the true line of succession?
Yes.
Yes, my prince.
Do you recall who King Viserys named as his heir before his death?
Princess Rhaenyra.
I'm grateful for your long service to the crown, so I'm presenting you with a choice.
Oh Lord have mercy, Daenerys 2.0, babes.
Swear anew your oath to Rhaenyra as your queen. To Prince Viserys as the heir to the Iron Throne. Or, if you support Viserys, speak it now. If you swear fealty now, only to later turn your cloaks,
Know that you will die. Screaming.
Princess, please. You shouldn't do this alone, Princess. Let us help you.
I can't help but think, oh my god, like there's semblance to Emma, like she has a royal womb and her, oh god, and how Balon died, it's almost like that. The music's also the same.
I mean no harm, brothers.
Oh, Eric. Where's your twin? Eric, God, your names.
I swear to ward the Queen with all my strength and give my blood for hers. I shall take no wife, hold no lands,
Father, no children?
father no children.
I miss it.
I shall guard her secrets, obey her commands, ride at her side and defend her name and honor.
Wow.
My queen.
I've got goosebumps. I've actually got goosebumps. Oh, and so the fact that she's wearing Viserys's crown, that means even more. Wow! Oh my God! What? This table can light up? Stop it! This table can light up.
Queen Rhaenyra Targaryen, first of her name, Queen of the Andals and Rhaenyra and the First Men, Lady of the Seven Kingdoms and Protector of the Realm. Your Grace.
Beanies. Let's talk about it later.
Wine, my queen.
Wow.
Thank you, Rhaenyra.
What's our plan of action?
What is our standing?
We have 30 knights, 100 crossbow men, and 300 men-at-arms. Dragonstone is relatively easy to defend, but as an instrument of conquest, our army leaves a lot to be desired. I've sent word to my loyal men in the City Watch. I'll have some support there, but I cannot speak to the numbers.
My lady mother was in Arryn. The Vale will not turn a cloak against their own kin.
River Run was always a close friend to your father, Your Grace. With Prince Daemon's acquiescence, I've already sent ravens to Lord Grover.
What of Storm's End and Winterfell?
There has never lived a Stark who forgot an oath, and with House Stark, the North will follow.
Lord Boros Baratheon will need to be reminded of his father's promises. What news from Driftmark?
Lord Cooler sails for Dragonstone.
To declare for his queen.
The Velaryon fleet is in my husband's yoke. He decides where they sail.
We shall pray for both you and your husband's support, just as we prayed nightly for the sea snake's return to good health. And our enemies.
We have no friends among the Lannisters. Tywin has served the hand too long to turn against him. And Otto Hightower needs the Lannister fleet.
Without the Lannisters, we're not like to find any allies west of the Golden Tooth.
No.
Pray forgive my bluntness, Your Grace, but talk of men is moot. Your cause owns a power that has not been seen in this world since the days of old Valyria. Dragons.
The Greens have dragons.
They have 3 adults, by my count. We have Syrax, Caraxes, and Meleys. Your sons have Virmax, Arax, and Tyraxes. Baela has Moondancer.
Daemon, none of our dragons have been to war.
There are also unclaimed dragons. Seasmoke still resides on Driftmark. Vermithor and Silverwing dwell on the Dragon Mound. Still riderless. Then there are the 3 wild dragons, all of whom nest here.
And who is to ride them?
Dragonstone has 13 to their 4. I also have a score of eggs incubating in the Dragon Mound. Here, at Harrenhal, we cut off the west, surround King's Landing with the dragons, and we could have every greenhead mounted on spikes before the fucking moon turns.
Your Grace, a ship has been sighted offshore. A long galleon flying a banner of a 3-headed green dragon.
Alert the watchtowers, sight the skies.
Hightower? Oh, we meet again! Hello! Deja vu much?
I come at the behest of the Dowager Queen Alicent, mother of King Aegon, second of his name, Lord and Protector of the Seven Kingdoms. I've been directed to deliver her message only to Princess Rhaenyra.
Princess?
Where is the princess?
Stop it! Where is the princess? A little clarification. Her Grace, please. Well, only like years later. Wow.
Princess Rhaenyra.
Oh,
I'm Queen Rhaenyra now. And you all are traitors to the realm.
King Aegon Targaryen, in his wisdom and desire for peace, is offering terms. Acknowledge Aegon as king and swear obeisance before the Iron Throne. In exchange, his grace will confirm your possession of Dragonstone. It will pass to your true-born son Viserys upon your death. Viserys will be confirmed as the legitimate heir to Driftmark. Your sons, by Prince Daemon, will also be given places of high honour at court. Aegon the Younger as the king's squire, Viserys as his cupbearer. Finally, the king in his good grace will pardon any knight or lord who conspired against his ascent.
I would rather feed my sons to the dragons than have them carry shields and cups for your drunken usurper. Of a king.
Aegon Targaryen sits the Iron Throne. He wears the Conqueror's crown, wields the Conqueror's sword, has the Conqueror's name. He was anointed by a Septon of the Faith before the eyes of thousands. Every symbol of legitimacy belongs to him.
Stark, Tully, and Baratheon all swore to me when King Viserys named me his heir.
Stale oaths will not put you on the Iron Throne, Princess. The succession changed the day your father sired a son. I only regret that you and he were the last to see the truth of it.
You are no more hand than Aegon is king. Fucking traitor!
Oh my god, it's the page that Alicent tore!
Queen Alicent has not forgotten the love you once had for each other. No blood need be spilled. The realm can carry on in peace. Queen Alicent eagerly awaits your answer.
She can have her answer now, stuffed in her father's mouth along with his withered cock. Let's end this mummer's farce.
No. King's Landing will have my answer on the morrow.
It's no easy thing for a man to be a dragon slayer.
Ups.
But dragons can kill dragons, and have. The simple truth is this: we have more dragons than Aegon.
Viserys spoke often of the Valyrian histories. I know them well. When dragons flew to war, everything burned. I do not wish to rule over a kingdom of ash and bone.
Are you considering the High Tower's terms, Your Grace?
As Queen, what is my true duty to the realm? Ensuring peace and unity, or that I sit the Iron Throne no matter the cost?
That's your father talking.
My father's dead, and he chose me as his successor. To defend the realm, not cast it headlong into war.
The enemy have declared war. What are you going to do about it?
Clear the room.
I'm sorry, this table's outstanding. Rhaenys, is she sort of smiling for Rhaenyra? Like, she's like, interesting. Oh. She is her father's daughter. She's trying to avoid war. War.
If you could take the Iron Throne without putting Otto Hightower's head on a spike, would you?
Are you not angry?
Well, I should declare war because I'm angry.
No, because it's your duty as queen to crush rebellion.
You know my oath reaches beyond our personal ambitions. A song of ice and fire.
What?
Oh, he doesn't know!
Coming war against the darkness in the north, the conqueror's dream. Viserys shared it with me when he named me heir.
My brother was a slave to his omens and portents. Anything to make his feckless reign appear to have purpose. Dreams didn't make us kings. Dragons did.
He never told you. Does he?
I'm sorry, I lost respect for Daemon right there. I don't give two shits. I lost respect for him. Anyone coming for me in the comments, don't even bother. Oh.
I've had men whipped.
Collis, I just realized it's you. Collis. Hi. I actually missed you.
You are no man.
You abandoned me when I most needed you. Both our children stolen from us. I needed you. Baela and Rhaenyra needed you, and you abandoned us for more adventure at sea. As has always been your way.
I lost everything.
We lost Corlys.
6 years, Collis. Come on. Freak me. I've never known a more loyal wife.
A stranger casts a long shadow over this family. Your brother is also dead. In his haste to bury you and claim your seat, he stood before the king and denounced Laenor's sons as illegitimate. Daemon took his head for it.
Sliced his head.
Heedless ambition has always been a Valyrian weakness.
Oh, okay.
You are right, Rhaenys. I reached too far. And for nothing. Our pursuit of the Iron Throne is at an end. We shall declare for no one.
What's this?
We will retire to high tide to be content with our grandchildren.
Jace, Luke, and Joff are claimants to the throne. Those boys will not be safe so long as Aegon is king.
That girl destroys everything she touches.
That girl is holding the realm together at present. Every man standing round the painted table urges her to plunge the realm into war.
That right there.
Rhaenyra is the only one who's demonstrated restraint.
Wow, so powerful, that bit.
Their men in the ground, plenty on earth.
Easy words for a lord who commands from the safety of his castle.
Doesn't make it
The Lord of
any
the
less
Tides!
true.
My lords,
Lord Corlys. Brings much relief to see you hale and healthy again.
I'm very sorry about your father, Princess. He was a good man.
Hello, husbands. I mean, our husbands. Oh. To be betrothed.
Where is Daemon?
There were other concerns which demanded the prince's attention. Well, we would also hope to have the support of houses Arryn, Baratheon, and Stark.
Hope is the fool's ally.
Both Arryn and Baratheon share blood with my house, but all of them swore oaths to me.
As did House Hightower, if I remember.
As did you, Lord Corlys.
Wow.
Your father's realm was one of justice and honor. Our houses are bound by common blood and common cause. This Hightower treason cannot stand. You have the full support of our fleet and house. Your Grace.
Okay, so...
You honor me, Lord Corlys. As I said to my bannermen, I made a promise to my father to hold the realm strong and united. If war's first stroke is to fall, it will not be by my hand.
You do not mean to act.
Taking caution does not mean standing fast. I wish to know who my allies are before I send them to war.
I took care to fully garrison the territory this time. A total blockade of the shipping lanes will be in place in days, if not already.
Oh, wow.
The Triarchy have been routed. The narrow sea is ours.
Well done. There we go.
If we further seal the gullet, we can cut off all seaborne travel and trade to King's Landing.
I should take Maylis and patrol the gullet myself.
When we drain the narrow sea, we can surround King's Landing.
If we're to have enough swords to surround King's Landing, we must first secure the support of Winterfell, the Eyrie, and Storm's End.
I'll prepare the ravens, Your Grace.
Dragons can fly faster than ravens. And then more convincing. Send us.
Okay.
Prince is right, Your Grace.
Exactly. Okay, so Jacaerys, Lucerys, and who else will go?
Prince Jacaerys will fly north. First to the Eyrie to see my mother's cousin, the Lady Jane Arryn, and then to Winterfell to treat with Lord Cregan Stark for the support of the North. Prince Lucerys will fly south to Storm's End. We must remind these lords of the oaths they swore, and the cost of breaking them.
Okay. Almost that piece of paper that Alicent gave is coming into play. What Princess Nymeria did.
It's been said that as Targaryens, we are closer to gods than to men.
Yes, we've heard a lot of you and
The Iron Throne puts us a touch closer, perhaps. If we are to serve the Seven Kingdoms, we must answer to their gods.
Oh, to the Seven.
If you take this errand, you go as messengers, not as warriors. You must take no part in any fighting. Swear it to me, now. Under the eyes of the Seven.
Isn't that interesting to see Targaryens follow the Seven? I mean,
swear it.
the start of it.
I swear it.
I would hope that as men, we can find some common interest.
Yes, Your Grace.
Storm's End is a short flight from here. You have Baratheon blood from your grandmother, Rhaenys. And Lord Boros is an eternally proud man. You'll be honoured to host a prince of the realm and his dragon. I expect you will receive a very warm welcome.
Yes, Mother. Your Grace.
Oh, Mummy's boy! Oh, so sweet. He reminds me of...
Go to it then.
music. He reminds me of Tommen. That's Viserys. He's going south. Oh wait, is Rhaenys going to the gullet? What? I don't know what any of this means. There's no subtitles. What? Whoa! Didn't Damon go somewhere? So has he gone? Because I've heard about Vermith. He said that there were two, Vermithra and Sunswing. Vermithra, I think it was called. Is that Vermithra or Sunswing? I don't know if it's one of those two. They are dragonless. They don't have any dragon riders, right? Holy God. It's almost like they're not fazed by it. Holy God! Oh, Vhagar is here! So that means Aemond is here. Aemond in Storms and Babes.
I'm Prince Viserys Velaryon. I bring a message to Lord Boros from the Queen. Lord Boros. I brought you a message from my mother, the Queen.
Yet earlier this day I received an envoy from the king. Which is it? The House of the Dragon does not seem to know who rules it. What's your mother's message? Where's the bloody maester?
Oh, he can't read.
Remind me of my father's oath. King Aegon at least came with an offer. My swords and banners for a marriage pact. If I do as your mother bids, which one of my daughters will you wed?
My lord, I'm not free to marry. I'm already betrothed.
Oh, yes, you are.
So you come with empty hands. Go home, pup, and tell your mother that the Lord of Storm's End is not some dog that she can whistle up at need to set against her foes.
I shall take your answer to the Queen, my lord.
Woo!
My lord Strong.
I really love him a lot.
Did you really think that you could just fly about the realm, trying to steal my brother's throne at no cost?
I came as a messenger, not a warrior.
Fight would be little challenge.
Wow.
No. I want you to put out your eye.
Oh my God!
It's payment for mine. One will serve.
Dude, get over it. You got a dragon. You said it yourself.
I'll not blind you.
Oh God.
Plan to make a gift of it to my mother. Then you are craven as well as a traitor.
Not here. Give me your eye, or I will take it, boss. Not in my hall. The boy came as an envoy. I'll not have blood shed beneath my roof.
Aemon became a little restless there. That's not like him, right? Weird. Oh God, Storm's End. Are you serious? Relax. Vhagar isn't there.
se! Det har sidat Arax! Likeri!
Oh my god! Yes, use your size to your advantage. I don't know what game he's playing at. Whoa, what?
No! Don't! Serve me, Vega! No! Go ahead, Vega!
I'm sorry. Oh god. Oh, that was a good reflex. Jeez. Oh god, Louise. Oh. Wow. That was absolutely insane. In the end, let's talk about, well, the full chase scene. Both of them lost control of their own dragons. Lucerys lost control of Arax. He made the first move by, I think it was almost like he was feeling Lucerys' sort of, I don't know, like the fact that he wanted to get rid of something, or maybe, I don't know, because they're very smart creatures, right, dragons. And immediately when Arax attacked Vega, that's when Aemon was like, no, Vega, like, you know, you serve me. So the dragons played their own game, and the dragons killed, Vega killed Arax and Lucerys with it. Oh my god. The poor boy, and he just came out of that storm. Oh god, that's absolutely heartbreaking to see it happen like that. And that's when you knew, like, when you see Aemon's face, he's like, shit, this is like, there was so many ways for the Greens to give, like, to surrender, to let them surrender. And on top of that, Rhaenyra told Otto Hightower that I will give my answer to King's Landing in the morrow. And I'm pretty sure it's almost like they didn't, this happened, I guess, at a time where they are still deciding what the play of action is, because the Rhaenyra sent Lucerys to, to get the support and to make sure they remember the oaths and whatnot. And I don't know now, like, I'm pretty sure Aemon truly messed up there with Vhagar. His rookiness may have cost them a peaceful, like what they think apparently would have been a peaceful surrender, with, Alicent playing to their feelings of what, with that page from the book and everything. Oh my God, that's absolutely, it's heartbreaking to see, because you can see in the end, Rhaenyra, she's getting the news from Daemon, and it's almost like, she's lost her child, her stillborn child. Lucerys, her father, made, from every battle that she's fought, like even Harwin Strong for that matter, and she maybe lost like a great friend like Laenor. It's almost like she's reaching her boiling point. And that ending, the fire and blood face, like that's something we are very aware of as to like how that would play out. I mean, she was trying as much as possible to make sure that she avoids bloodshed, and now I'm pretty sure it's war, game time. Everything that's happening with getting troops here and there to mount the Greens on spikes, it will work well with this episode. Like this confirms it. The entirety of this episode, we see her trying to make sure that she's holding the realm while men around her find ways to go to war, but then she's the one thing that keeps it under control to maintain the peace and unity. Holy God. And also keeping in mind what Viserys told her about the Song of Ice and Fire, which honestly, I don't care about the fact that this is how this world is and whatnot, but in that moment when Daemon choked her, she lost her child, their child, alright? And I truly do not understand the reason why they are making us see two separate sides in one go. I think maybe because, he in that moment he knew that Viserys was the reason why Viserys never told him is because he always wanted Rhaenyra to be the heir, because if I recall correctly, that was mostly Aegon's, the reason why he told this is Aegon's dream is to pass on to the next heir to the Iron Throne, and his main motto was to keep always, when the war comes, the great war comes, a Targaryen must sit on the Iron Throne once it's done, once we see through that. So from that line, we didn't, of course they didn't know that that's not going to happen in this era. It's going to happen literally 200 years later. But still, the fact that he didn't tell Daemon, I think it must have played on his mind that he was never the chosen one. He was always going to be the tag-along brother. And with in that moment, he just, I think, in his own way vented out. But honestly, I'm not giving an excuse to what he did, but that was such shit. That he had to use that to choke her. And even though, despite everything that he's trying to do, go to war to make sure she sits on the Iron Throne and she gets back her rightful claim to the Iron Throne, that crap that he pulled was absolutely, I literally lost respect for him then and there. I know some people will come with massive explanations saying that, this is the era, I mean, you should be open-minded. I have been very open-minded this entire season. I've kept my mouth shut, but that bit, you cannot justify saying that it's the time and the era and, just let it slide like that, because that's how abuse starts and that's how people are, they find excuses to reason with why this is okay when it's not for anyone. If Rhaenyra was to have done it to Daemon, that's also not okay. No, nothing is okay like that. Like, that's, you've lost your child. Like, I'm pretty sure she would have felt worse in that position, because she's the one that carried the child. Whether or not the mother is the one that always will feel it the most, because she's the one that bears the child 9 months. And to lose Lucerys, I mean, of course this was pre-Lucerys, but to lose a child and then to be choked by your own husband like that, I don't care the sort of relation, like, because it's her uncle, whatever, but freak me, like, that's not how Viserys would have acted, and people would have called him weak, because he was like a king of the like people of the heart sort of thing, right? And it's so sad to see that that's what you call weak, rather than, you know, like, show off war and strength, and that's what claims you to be like, oh, you're strong, you know. But yeah, I did not like that at all. It's something that I truly despise, and that was not something I enjoyed, that moment. It was very rough, like, it's, but when she told, like, he didn't tell you, which sunk in his mind, being like, yeah, I don't know what the hell you're on about, but a Song of Ice and Fire is not meant for him, because it's not his destiny, it's Rhaenyra's destiny, which is very smart, like, the way. And then Daemon, when he was away, when they were talking about, when, because see, Call is coming back, and he was well, rode to Evanfall, and then Rhaenys was there, and he did his own way of, like, you know, going to the sea to cope up with the death of his 2 children, and left her alone 6 years. I mean, God, like, I'm keeping my mouth shut, okay. And anyhow, so in terms of trying to understand what that full table scene was, where they were talking about, you know, getting the support of the Starks, the Starks, the Arryns, and the Baratheons. Like, it's almost like these are the 3 houses which we started off in terms of Game of Thrones, which is very almost bittersweet. Like, yeah, like, we started off with Arryn, we started off with the Stark, and we know about the Baratheon. Like, the 3 main houses come together in Game of Thrones at the start of the season, which is almost bittersweet. But yeah, that's what I thought about when she was talking about getting their support. And yeah, and then we saw Daemon singing. I'm assuming it said there, I think, singing in High Valyrian or Old Valyrian to a dragon. Now, from what I recall, I remember in part of the lore or somewhere I must have read saying that when he was explaining the dragons that they have, 13 dragons against 3 dragons to the Greens. In one of the 13 dragons, 2 of them have not been claimed by dragon riders. One of the dragons that was claimed but the rider died was King Viserys I. So his dragon was, I feel like I'm writing this wrong, but Vermithor. And his dragon, I think, was in the Dragon Cove where Daemon went, because from what I understand in I read a bit of the book. I actually have a friend who had a copy of it, and I was just reading it, and there was a part where I read seeing that there was something about where Vermithor is, like, maybe in size almost close to Balerion and Vhagar, maybe, because Balerion and Vhagar were the biggest dragons in this world, but then Balerion died, and the next biggest dragon is Vhagar, but the second one is Vermithor, which is the one we see. Is that dragon, or is that called Sunwing? I'm not really sure if it's called Sunwing or Vermithor, but I feel like it's Vermithor because I really like the name Vermithrax or Vermithor or whatever it's called, but I just feel that's that. But then they have 13 dragons, including 2, then the 3 eggs that they got that can be claimed, where it cuts straight to Rhaenyra, who does not have a rider at all, a dragon at all. And they've got Syrax, Caraxes, Meleys, and so many more. well, no more Arrax, but still they had Arrax. They had, I don't think, no, not Vermax. No. Vermax is Aegon's dragon. But yeah, to them, to the Greens, they have Vhagar, Vermax, and does Helaena have a dragon? Is that the dragon we see at start, like when they were in the dragon pit, and you know, we see Vermax come, like Vermax has a green color, is a green color dragon, right? So we see inside there was another dragon. Was that Helena's dragon? If so, I don't know what the name is. I don't know if we even seen her ride her dragon. I don't think we've ever seen her interaction with her dragon. So I have no idea what that is. So, but anyhow, I'm assuming when they say 3, these are the only 3 that comes to my mind. But even though they've got Vhagar, they've got a lot of more dragons. But seeing as how Vhagar literally ripped Arrax, well, you know, I mean, we've got Daemon, and, you know, I guess he would be able to sort of understand the lay of the land riding his dragon. But it's just more like, you know, even with being such small in size, going through that crack, Vhagar got the upper hand, and you know that shot of Vhagar on top of Arrax, just to show how big Vhagar is. Holy crap, that was amazing. And then we see Aemon's eye, which I remember was one of my thumbnails for, I really loved that thumbnail of one of my lore videos. I can't recall, but yeah, that's that. So that's all I am sort of aware of in terms of intricate details. But yeah, if I'm very off the topic, I genuinely have no idea. Then I can't remember, because I remember reading just like, it was, I don't know, I don't even remember where I started reading. I just started reading it, and I just saw that, like, in terms of sizing and yeah, that's literally it. So let me know what that part is, if I'm right or wrong. But yeah, and then we see the interaction between the High Tower and Daemon, literally episode 2, and again, like, Syrax comes in, and, you know, with Rhaenyra, and now that she's not Princess Rhaenyra anymore, but she's Queen Rhaenyra, and you can see how much I feel like Alicent is trying to avoid anything and everything to make sure that her friend surrenders. Like, maybe she's like in that position where she knows that she's lost, but at the same time she's trying to, like, get her friend to understand that this is not something you can win. Like, you have lost, my friend. Just take you know, surrender for your children. Like, don't even bother trying to get through to, you know, becoming a queen, or however you say it. But anyhow, that's that. And that page from that book, which was very sentimental, you could see, holy god. And then Syrax just, like, screaming. You can see she's, like, feeling the pain. You can see everywhere. You can see the pain as much as possible between these characters, which is absolutely phenomenal. And when they named Rhaenyra queen, right, you see everyone bending their knee, excepting Rhaenys. In that moment, I was thinking, is it because she knows that, you know, like, she's not really loyal as such, but she knows that because her granddaughters bowed, and she saw them, but she knows, she's like, you know, she's not going to be around for her reign as much, because maybe her days are, like, you know, she's also getting old, she might also pass on, but she knows that her granddaughters are the future of their house, and future of, you know, not just the Targaryen legacy, but also of the Velaryon legacy, and they are the ones representing the Velaryon house and the Targaryen house. So, you know, they are bowing down, so Rhaenys doesn't have to. Is that what that was? Or is that something, just a choice that she just didn't want to kneel to Rhaenyra? That was very interesting, because you could see in the end, like, she was very impressed with Rhaenyra, and she says that she's the only thing that's trying to keep the peace with the realm. And then you see Corlys Velaryon, like, saying that he didn't want to you know, almost say bend the knee to another house. He just wanted to say almost retire, but then he decided, no, we'll support the, you know, Rhaenyra's claim to the throne, and you know, she gets her father's crown, the one that actually matters, you know, the one that we've seen from Jaehaerys all the way now. Yes, Aegon must have had Aegon's conqueror thing, but his thing, but you know, well, Aegon is not, I don't know, like, I feel like the golden one looks so much more better, but that's just me. And well, yeah, and then after that, I like the fact that at the start we see Rhaenyra and Lucerys is, you know, that we see a lot of Lucerys scenes, right? Everything from this, even from before episodes, we were trying to make sure Lucerys does not lose an eye from when Alicent wanted to take an eye from Lucerys, and all that leading up to Lucerys being killed by Aemond, which is absolutely ironic, because I think that's the worst way anyone can die. Like, but yes, he died with his dragon, he died a dragon's death, but that is absolutely terrifying death. Like, I don't think anyone would be happy with a death like that. But then you see the sort of like comparison from, even, I'm drifting off topic, but from the start where we see Emma being the royal, how do you say, she was the royal lady, you know, of having the royal womb. And then you see Rhaenyra when she was young saying that she does not ever want to be in this position, and you know, she hates the idea of like this politics and, you know, the way the world works in that time when she was 10 and 14, no, 10 and 4, you know, at that age and all that. But then you see exactly, and when she sees her brother being, you know, her brother dead, and then her mother as well, it's almost a very bittersweet relation to her time now. Like, years later, she's undergoing the same thing, and she pulled her child out, which is even worse. And you know, it almost is like sad to see her mother going through that, but she lost her life, and she going through that, but then, you know, now people are testing her, like she's her legitimacy to the throne, and she's not the queen in so many places. Aegon has usurped her throne, and she's losing alliance, and she's losing what she fought so hard for over those years. And you know, she's almost trained herself to be in that position, even though she's despised it, and then she's herself is in the royal bed giving birth, whether it be stillborn or proper, you know, a healthy child. Like, it's such a crazy replication to the scene, and maybe like a symbolism to it, but I'm not really sure how to explain it. But that was a very, very, I think, a very nice sort of take on the characters, how, and that almost plays into the casting choice as well, like how they had to age Rhaenyra up to make it look like, you know, she's seen the worst of the worst, and now, you know, I think she's going through that stage where she's losing her, losing her child is so much for her. She's lost her father, someone has taken over her throne, and everything is gone, and she's even lost Lucerys now. Like, that is, I think that she's reached her brim point where now she cannot control her anger, I feel. And the Song of Ice and Fire, she's going all ham, I feel, with the face that she had at the end. And I, you know, as I keep saying, like, when she was justifying like, she says, I don't want to rule a city over ash and bone, like, what's the point? Like, she's doing exactly, again, I know people tell me that don't bring Daenerys into it. I don't know if I can or cannot, but I'm just almost like trying to see like I'm not finding changes or anything, I'm just more or less saying that, like, oh look, like ash and bone, like the symbolism is there, like, because they're Targaryens, right? So she's a Targaryen with fire and blood, but she's trying to keep like peace in the realm, which is absolutely going against her true nature, which is amazing. And you know, she's trying to get allies more and more, so that, you know, she doesn't want to rule by fear, at least. But now that she's got the worst of the worst news, it's triggered, like, that she's going to go all ham. But I can't remember the lore and what she does after this, which is almost great for me, because it gives me that surprising element. But yeah, that's very sad. And then we see the Lannisters going for shocking that the Lannisters being they would not betray Otto Hightower, and Tylan would be with Otto Hightower. So it makes sense almost, like it's very true to their character, the Lannisters favoring Hightowers. It's a very strategic yet understandable move, like from their end. But well, all in all, this episode was very, very, very nice. I'm happy that at least, well, I felt like it was okay that I found out that Rhaenyra is the only main sort of storyline that we're going with, not Alicent, and Alicent was the previous storyline. But it almost makes me understand why they dedicated like one episode for her and one episode for her. Like it's a lot of content that they needed to explain from Alicent's point of view of how she finds out about Viserys' death and what unfolds from that. And when the start of this episode, we see Rhaenyra finding out about Viserys' death and how that unfolds. So everything works hand in hand. Like, I think Viserys, it's a very good way where they started off, like when we saw Viserys' like last episode, and we see almost like the Last Supper, and looking at everyone gathering and all of them like forgetting about animosity between them and just eating together just as a family. And I think that last picture that he has in his mind as what could be following his death was it was so nice to think that, but at the same time it does not happen to be true, because following his death everything is going into crumbles, and already people are losing claim. People are words cease to mean anything, like how Jon Snow said about the oaths, how people easily broke their oath and sided with Aegon's claim to the throne. And they may have their reasoning and whatnot, but it's like words are ceasing to mean anything, because it's almost like they are just getting rid of what Viserys fought so hard. But yeah, I almost like very much miss Viserys, and if not for him, like everything, he's almost made it look like it was so easy to be like that kind of king. But the way people are just immediately breaking bonds and going against their word, we can see how strong of an individual he was to keep that word, like to keep the unity in between different houses, and people fought for him. And as soon as he's dead, like everyone gives two craps about his reign and everything, and it's sad, like almost I feel like his word and his time of being king is just it does not matter at all. And that starts with them not accepting Rhaenyra as queen. And no matter what, I understand, there was that era where they not only, like when Aegon was born, like her claim matters no more, because she is, yes, I completely agree, that was that was the era that they were living in and everything. But it was almost like this is exactly what that's why Viserys had that presence of like the council and people swearing to fealty to Viserys, choosing Rhaenyra as heir to the throne. Like that should mean for something, rather than taking advantage of the fact that yes, he's Viserys' first true born son and everything, because we knew that he was always going to name Rhaenyra queen. And yes, at the start it was almost like when Emma was carrying Baelor, and if he would have lived, what would have been the situation then? Like, would he have still named Rhaenyra heir to the throne? I think he just named her heir to the throne not only because he believes in her, but she was his first child. So it's I feel like he was more for the fact that he knew that she is a ruler, and well, maybe not everyone would agree with that, but what it matters what Viserys thought, because he is the king and he was the king, and that should have been the way of things. But then everything is going sideways. But it's sad, and I really love the hint. My favorite part of this episode genuinely was the part where Otto Hightower would not even understood the meaning of that paper in that moment, like the sheet that they tore, while I think this was in the first episode where first or maybe second, I'm not really sure, but where they were discussing about Princess Nymeria and how she came and she married into one of the Dornish men, like I think one of the Martells, and you know, Alicent was questioning, like, you know, it's almost like she was preparing Rhaenyra to be like a princess who knows her history, and a little bit like almost grooming her to know that she has to learn all this if she is going to be the next in line for the throne. But then now you see completely everything changing, and it's so sad, like, you know, that you can see she feels, she knows that Alicent deep down, no matter what their bond is right now, deep down she knew that she loved her. I think she was always good. She always knew that she's got a special place in her heart, but it's come down to this. And after all those years, Alicent still kept that piece of paper, whether it means a lot to her or not, but it's almost a way of them, of her trying to make her understand that, look, Rhaenyra, like, you have to understand that's it, you're done. But her blood is not fire and blood, like, it's more or less like we are not standing down against rebellion, and she has every right to go against what their beliefs are, because she was promised the throne and she was named queen, like she was named you know, queen of the heir to the Iron Throne right after Viserys named her his heir. So stuff like that. So it makes a lot of difference. But in that moment, I just felt for Rhaenyra and her like, you know, it just almost reminds her about what life was like before this shitstorm, and, you know, and everything. And well, I don't know if there was any significance to the scene with the story on that sheet about Princess Nymeria, but I'm not really sure if it went that deep into it. But if it did, it's pretty amazing. But if someone can actually let me know, or maybe I might find it myself, what Daemon was singing, like, what does the song mean? Why did he sing to the dragon? What was, I'm pretty sure he's trying to make a bond. Like, who would claim that dragon? I don't actually, you know, I don't want to know who claims the dragon, because, well, that would mean that I would know the story. But I want to almost know what the lyrics meant and why did he sing. That's the main thing. Maybe to soothe it, to sort of be like, it's me, like I am a kin, like, you know me, like, because the last shot was eye to eye, and it was like how we saw Drogon's eye and then you see Jon Snow's eyes, and it's a very resemblance to, like, you know, the dragon is sensing the Targaryens. So yeah, I think that's what that was. But yeah, and then the last thing, which was pretty amazing, was the table lights up, which is absolutely fabulous. I actually loved it. I don't think the table in Game of Thrones was never lit. So is that something they never knew about, or is that something they thought that let's just add it in and make it look very, you know, like, ooh, this table means business sort of thing. Anyhow, and then, you know, the other thing that really got me was when Lucerys was looking at the table and he was looking at Driftmark. I remember one of the scenes where when Lady Lena died, the next funeral episode, when they were at Driftmark, he said to Corlys Velaryon that he is the right, like, well, Corlys said to him that he would be the rightful heir to Driftmark, and he would be Lord of Driftmark and Lord of the Sea Tides. But that's when he said that, you know, he doesn't, like, if he does become Lord of Driftmark, it means that everyone that he knows is dead, which is absolutely true, because at that time, like, when he wasn't aware that the sea snake would survive, it was a very sad thought for him to know. You know, he gave me really Tommen Baratheon vibes. He did. And in that moment when Rhaenyra said something about, like, you know, what troubles you, sweet boy, the first thing I thought was Cersei. I was like, what? So like, I don't know, I got a little Cersei and Tommen Baratheon vibes there, like the mother and son, and you can see like he was a very sweet boy that was, like that would do anything that his mother commands him to do. And even at the fact that when he went to Storm's End and Boris Baratheon was saying that, do you have a deal? Like, would you marry any of my daughters? And he stood then and there saying that I cannot be married, like I am betrothed. Like, just then and there, he honors his code. Like the word, what Jon Snow said, like, words, if we make false promises, words cease to mean anything. And it's so true right now, because even Boris, like, I mean, Lucerys was just in that moment being like, yeah, I'm betrothed, like I cannot marry. And this is unfortunately giving me Red Wedding vibes, like where, about the twins and the bridge and all that rubbish. But still, it's just like that code of honor and what it means to keep your word. That's so important in this world, because otherwise everyone can go, like, can betray someone's trust easily. So to see how many houses, like, immediately bent the knee for Aegon's claim to the throne, no matter what Viserys, even if Viserys actually meant that, they all swore in front of everyone to Viserys himself, saying that they're going to bend the knee for Rhaenyra Targaryen as heir to the Iron Throne once Viserys passes. So it's just like, if they can do that to any random person, like to Rhaenyra, I'm sure they can do that once they find out that Aegon's rule is absolutely going in shambles. And like, look, like Eric, Sir Eric, he said that that Aegon being king will be a disaster from the previous episodes, and he's come now with the crown of Viserys, making sure they know that he pledges his sword, which is the Night's Watch, their words, and pledges himself to Rhaenyra Targaryen. And it's not even about the oath, it's about what is right and wrong. Like, it goes to show, like, if you choose the wrong king or queen, it's going to have a disaster. So like, what people should do is for the realm, which is what we've seen some certain people doing it, and it's getting lost in words now, what is right and what's wrong. And I think that if we're going to talk about who pledges to whom, I think it should have been Rhaenyra as queen. And it's only because that's exactly what was promised. Like, she was the queen, and Alicent misinterpreting it, and it's made a shit show. Like, so sad. And then when Rhaenys said, when Daemon said that you could have, if you were on your dragon, you could have just killed them then and there. And he's like, yes, I know treachery is like, the answer to that would be war, but it's not my war. So those were powerful words, because she didn't want to be the one to instigate this war. Like, well, and I remember her saying, like, I think it was her voice after finding out that at the start, she said, the only thing that can destroy the house of the dragon is the dragon itself. That's exactly what's going to happen. So I'm excited, but I'm very am. But then, so many symbolism, so many, like, flashbacks to first episode or second episode. But I thoroughly enjoyed this season. I know a lot of people have been comparing this to how Game of Thrones is, and the disappointment that they've had with Game of Thrones season 8 is sort of almost influencing their thoughts. Some, I'm not claiming all, but some people being influenced in whether House of the Dragon would have the same sort of outcome from that. But I think it's so unfair to like compare these two sort of worlds, because they are from the same world, but it's completely in two different timelines, and I don't think it's fair to compare House of the Dragon to Game of Thrones success. Yes, I think I have to commend Game of Thrones, of course, because if not for Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon on its own, like, would I have liked it? I'm pretty sure I would have, but it's just more like Game of Thrones set the bar in terms of this fictional world. And but to learn more and more about this world for those who have not read the books, I think I personally, looking at it from a first time viewer, it's very nice. I'm enjoying it a lot because, as I say, even Game of Thrones, I've not read the books before. Didn't even think that I would enjoy it as much as I did, but I did. And to think that, you know, in terms of the world of the Targaryens, I love it. Like, I love dragons. I love that we see a lot of different sizes of dragons, a lot of different kinds of it. It's so interesting to see this side of things, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. Yes, at start it was maybe like we were getting understanding. It was a little hard for me at start with terms of names, that's all, and the dragon names, that's it. But other than that, I think it was really easy to catch on, and it would be easier for me to understand from second season onwards where it's going. But I'm very excited to see how this unfolds because it's a very different world. It's a diverse cast. I love the fact that they chose to do a bold move by doing a casting choice, time jumps. That's like big decisions which actually make a lot of sense to what we get for the next season. So I'm excited. I'm very excited to see, and I would definitely recommend people to like go with an open mind and watch it rather than, you know, I guess criticizing at the back end, thinking that, oh yes, House of the Dragon would have the same result as Game of Thrones. Like, no, like you can't do that. It's not fair. There's so much work and effort that's put into this show that we should appreciate every single moment of it. So if you don't like it after that, that's 100% fine. Like, that makes sense because you've watched it and you've said it. But there are so many people that are already judging it before it was released, which kind of pissed me off as well because I can't really do that. Like, it makes no sense. So but yeah, that goes to same saying like, why then I didn't watch Game of Thrones earlier. I just didn't watch it only because of the violence. Like, I thought violence would really put me off, and I've heard it was very gory, so that's the reason I put it off. But I never once said that I would not enjoy it. So if I didn't give it a try, it would have been like, then that's like my fault because I'm prejudging everything. Anyhow, I'm like diverting from the topic, but this episode was phenomenal. The Black Queen and the Green Council, when Rhaenys said, the Greens are coming for you, Rhaenyra, and for your children, leave Dragonstone. Shit, wow, that was phenomenal. And the music was amazing, and the costumes absolutely phenomenal. Rhaenyra's costumes, wow, loved it. Alicent's costumes, loved it. Character-wise, the character that really is not my favorite, I don't think I have a non-favorite character. It could, yeah, no, I don't think even Aegon, like, could not be my favorite character, but it's just that he's a very sad little person that did not get enough love and just does not want the throne. And he's being pressured into being someone that he is not, and that's it, that's all. But I don't think, maybe Larys, but Larys is an intriguing character as to what he is. He's almost like Littlefinger, but it's not like I hate him. He has his own agenda, fine, and who doesn't? So yeah, I don't think I have the only thing I wish I would have seen more of is Sir Harold, Grant McTavish's character. I wish we had like a lot more of his scenes, or of Miss Arya, like, you know, a little more either of the White Worm, just because I feel like they're very strong, very big roles that have a very subtle impact. I just think that they should have been more prominent in scenes. But, well, I am no director, so I guess the way they went is for a reason, and I enjoyed it regardless. So I am going to end it off right here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the season. I was told that this is going to be
I don't understand. I hope hope you enjoy the season I was told that this is going to be.
I think the next season is in 2 years' time, if I'm not wrong. If so, holy crap, I will definitely, knowing me and my memory, I will need constant reminder of whose character is what. At least with Game of Thrones, everything was released. If it was like at least a year, fine. 2 years? Shit. Are you serious? Like, my brain will not even remember like Targaryen names. Like, I swear, I feel I'll have that problem of respelling or repronouncing Rhaenyra's name because I remember having a very major problem with that. But I hope I don't. I just need a constant, like, I think I need like an audio podcast or audiobook or a podcast through just every day. Rhaenyra Targaryen, Rhaenys Targaryen, Balon, this, that. I'm just like, just keep that in mind, you know, remember. But I will definitely be watching season 2 when it comes, but I hope you guys enjoyed this season. I can't believe I'm done now for the time being for the Song of Ice and Fire / Fire and Blood world. So it's been a great journey. I've been enjoying it very much, and I'll see you lot in the season 2. Again, we don't know any dates, but 2024 I've been told, so long way to go. But of course, we'll be posting many other different content by then. But still, it was a great journey, and I hope you guys enjoyed the finale as much as I did. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.